Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Outside the Rope studio. Even though we did say we would not be here this week, but we are here for one day only this week. We could be back on on Friday. We haven't confirmed it just yet, but we're here anyway. Welcome back to the studio. Well, not really the studio. The reason why we're on the air tonight, guys, is we did say we weren't going to be on the air is because I begged and pleaded with our head of production, Catherine, to try and get some equipment from our studio and let me bring it home to my home to bring a Outside the Ropes episode to you guys this week. It's a bit unfair. You haven't had a show since last Thursday, and I'm going to explain why for people who haven't tuned in. But this edition of Outside the Ropes is coming to you from my home. Yes, that's right. I brought the equipment home, and I want to bring a show to you guys because we don't want to let things slide as we are heading in towards WrestleMania season. I want to give a podcast to you guys for your wonderful and continuing support of this show. Now, back to last Friday's show. Now, we all know that we were supposed to do an episode. Was it last Thursday? No, sorry, it was last Thursday we were supposed to do an episode. We went to the studio, recorded the episode. Everything was grand. Catherine put it all together as she always does. The show was sounding great. And we went on to our internet to put the show on iTunes and all our usual sources here in the studio. And guess what? Our broadband crashed. That's right. Our broadband decided to, should we say, crap itself and decided to go, nope, you're not going to put the show online. So our broadband in the studio was off for a few days. But anyway, I'm here in my home. I have just recently received my new broadband, which is great. So I'm going to be bringing you tonight's episode from my home. Now, we should be back in the studio, hopefully by Friday, fingers crossed, to bring another edition of Outside the Ropes. But enough of me gibbering on. We're here in my home. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode, and I hope you can bear with me for the next lot of minutes as I bring you up to speed with what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. Later on this episode, in a couple of minutes' time, I'm going to be bringing in a little special guest. This person who has been watching wrestling now for a few years and wanted to come on the air and say hello because it's a female and she listens to the show every week and she loves her wrestling, believe it or not, and she wants to come onto the show and say a few words. So I'll bring that young lady in very, very shortly. Guys, what's been going on in the world of wrestling? It's been going chaos. Last night's Monday Night Raw. What the hell? Out of nowhere, we had a great show. I thought the show was substandard up until the end. Had some reasonably good stuff on it. The main thing being the Seth Rollins, Randy Orton feud, which ended in a great way to end Raw last night. But it looked like throughout the entire night of Raw that the Rollins was losing the authority bit by bit. It looks like they were all disbanding and they didn't want to know Rollins anymore because Rollins was scheduled for a fight with Randy Orton in the main event. But it was a good plot, it was a good twist. It came to the main event where Randy Orton was in the ring waiting for Rollins to come out on his own because the Big Show and Kane disowned him. J&J security walked away. Triple H and Stephanie told him to basically do one. And it was all a plot for the Authority to get Randy Orton in the ring on his own. And just before the Authority get into the ring, the lights went out. The crow hit, and standing in the ring with Randy Orton is Sting. Sting appeared on Raw last night and came back, and him and Randy Orton whooped the Authority's ass. The crowd went bonkers, which I thought the crowd wasn't overly great last night until the end. But the crowd went absolutely bonkers, and Sting and Orton whooped their ass and cleared house. Now, after the show, you can watch this on our social media feeds as well, and on YouTube, WWE, and obviously the WWE Network. Sting finally spoke inside a WWE ring. He done a promo for the first time ever. Great. He basically said he's been waiting 14 years to do this. He's basically telling Triple H that he's going to whip his ass at WrestleMania. Unreal. We're looking forward to this match at Mania, guys. We're only, 12 days away from the big extravaganza in Levi's Stadium. I can't wait to see WrestleMania. This match is going to be great. If the crowd, as JBL said on the announce table last night, was good last night, what's it going to be like when fans from all around the world are going to be packed into Levi's Stadium, over 75,000 people when Sting comes? I cannot wait to see that match. It's going to be a great match. Guys, I'm going to call it. I think Sting's going to win this match. There's no question about it. I don't think Sting's going to lose. Maybe his one and only match in WWE, but I think Sting will win this match. But a great way they brought Sting into Raw last night. It was great to see him finally stand in the ring after all these years, cutting a promo on Monday Night Raw. Dreams do come true, and never say never in WWE. That's all I can say. Interesting video package from Brock Lesnar last night. A lot of bad language in it. Obviously, it's been cut out because of WWE, because of the PG. But a great promo building up for their match at WrestleMania with Roman Reigns. We also had Paul Heyman in the ring last night doing a bit of mouthing as usual, where they kept cutting his mic off. Roman Reigns come out where he's now sporting this new t-shirt, I can and I will. Unreal. This match, I think, guys, is going to be great. Now, we did share a thing on our social media feeds the other day where, I don't know if this is true or not, but they're saying that the script has now leaked for the main event for WrestleMania. It's floating around the internet. If this script does come is legit, guys, the main event of WrestleMania between these two is going to be something else. I'm looking forward to it. So I read through it myself. We read through it all here. Well, we all read through it, the whole team of us here. And we thought it was unreal. If it did happen, it would be an awesome win in WrestleMania. But this match, I think, is going to be an all-out brawl, and I'm looking forward to it. So, great promo from Brock Lesnar last night on Raw. We'll get some Hall of Fame news coming up very, very shortly as well. WWE announced last night as well on Raw that LL Cool J will be performing live at WrestleMania. We hear it could be at the start of WrestleMania this year. We don't know just yet, but we know it's going to happen. The Intercontinental title fiasco, should we say, continued on Raw last night, where it ended up where Bad News Barrett came out the strongest by taking a few of them out with the bullhammer. Barrett's looking in phenomenal shape at the moment, guys, to be honest with you. He really has been hitting the gym hard recently, and he looks phenomenal heading into WrestleMania season. So Bad News Barrett is looking really, really good heading into this match. As I did say, I think Bad News Barrett is going to retain the title, but I could be wrong. Also coming out of Raw last night, we had a bit of a teaser compared to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Mark Henry's now been thrown into the mix. Mark Henry's looking absolutely phenomenal since last week he appeared on SmackDown. But there you go. Another creepy promo from Bray Wyatt last night on Raw. This match with Taker's going to be great. They are keeping him off TV till WrestleMania, but Bray's promos are awesome. Axelmania running wild on Raw last night. Even though he got his ass whipped again. Is anybody actually out there got an Axelmania t-shirt? Does anybody actually believe in Axelmania? I don't know. I think he'll probably be one of these ones that gets chucked into the Battle Royal. The first guy that gets chucked out, to be honest. But overall, Raw last night was a solid show. A good ending. Couple of other matches in the card, Divas matches and stuff were reasonably good leading to this tag team match for WrestleMania. Or next week's Raw is going to be a big build-up. I mean, they've announced for next week's Raw they're going to have Snoop Dogg on Raw next week, which is going to be good. This is the last WrestleMania in LA, heading to, I think it's in the Staples Center. They're heading in now to the last stretch before WrestleMania, so it's going to be a big appearance. It's going to be a face-to-face next week on Raw with Brock and Roman Reigns. Sting more likely to be on Raw next week as well. So they're starting to push out now for this big event coming up in 12 days' time. I'm really looking forward to it, guys. We all are looking forward to it. Cannot wait for it. But there you go. Coming out of Raw again last night as well, some Hall of Fame news. They announced last night that the living legend Larry Zbyszko, as we did say a few weeks ago, will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Great induction for WWE. We hear next week's going to be the final name. Which is going to, for what we hear, is going to be Kevin Nash, which is going to be inducted by Shawn Michaels, which I think he's going to be inducted as Diesel, which is quite surprising. I know that they announced Scott Hall last year as Razor Ramon, but big congratulations to Larry Zbyszko as he is being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, which we cannot wait to see. I'm looking forward to his speech. Especially with about his whole classic matches with the likes of Bruno Sammartino and all those other guys from back in the day. So I'm really looking forward to Larry Zbyszko's induction. Great class this year, guys, no question about it. Especially with the little Connor getting into the Hall of Fame as we announced last week too. So Hall of Fame update, Larry Zbyszko getting into the Hall of Fame. Great news. Some TNA news for you guys from tapings this past Sunday. We have a new first of all, X Division champion Kenny King won the title. Apparently, this will not be broadcast until the end of April. Strange. I don't understand why TNA do all these tippings because everybody knows the results. We did talk about their ratings being so low. I wonder why. We have also new tag team champions. The Hardy Boys. That's right. They have finally won tag team gold again, this time in TNA. And that's all we're going to tell you more about it. We're not going to give you any more results on it, but all we know is there's new champions coming out of those TV tapings. No more news on TNA this week as well, apart from their TV tapings. And also a bit of news coming out regarding them heading back to the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. Whether it's going to happen or not, we don't know. All we know is at the minute it's very doubtful. But TNA are doing a lot of tapings at the moment for the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for more TNA news and updates here on Outside the Ropes. Also, another update as well. Kevin Owens, now I know I haven't talked about this because we've been off the air for quite a few days. Kevin Owens has a knee injury and he could possibly miss the WrestleMania weekend NXT events, and he could be out of in-ring action for up to 4 to 6 weeks with a knee injury. Now, he could be still appearing on television. Now, we all know that the match with Fergal Devitt, the title match, has been taped. And we haven't given the results away, because we don't want to give the results for that, of course. But it has been taped. But he could be out of the ring for 4 to 6 weeks, Kevin Owens. So that's a big blow for WWE and for NXT. Now, WWE did put out a video there this afternoon of their recent tour. They've done their live events of NXT. And some of the stars talking about the events with some clips of the event itself. Great scenes. Full houses every single night. And NXT are a growing brand. So big congratulations to NXT for their successful tour. A lot of these guys out there don't know and don't remember the former WWE Tag Team Champions Demolition, Axe and Smash. This past weekend, they were awarded with a Lifetime Tag Team Achievement Award from Maryland Championship Wrestling at a live event last Saturday night. The award was presented to them by Hellcats after their win over Kevin Dixon and Ryan McBride. I think I've got that right. So yes, a Lifetime Achievement Award, or Lifetime Tag Team Achievement Award for Axe and Smash at Demolition. Guys, I don't understand why Demolition are not in the WWE Hall of Fame. That's a tag team who should be in the Hall of Fame. Everybody remembers Demolition from back in the 80s and early 90s. Demolition were a dominant tag team. Former 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions. Yes, they had 3 members at one stage, Axe, Smash and Crush. When the tag team finished off, there was only Smash and Crush. But Demolition was an awesome tag team, an iconic tag team, and I would love to see them get into the WWE Hall of Fame someday. So a big congratulations for their award this past weekend to Axe and Smash of Demolition. Now, I think we mentioned this on the show a few months ago. I'm not too sure why we did or not. But the New York Post reports, and I don't know if we brought this up to you or not, but Vince McMahon had his Bentley car stolen. Now, I don't know why any of you out there know that news or not, but it came out today in the New York Post that Vince McMahon's Bentley has been recovered in the Bronx. It was a charcoal grey Bentley. It was stolen in Connecticut a few months back. I think we did maybe mention this on the show with Tony. It was recovered there recently by the police. Now listen to this here, and we all know Vince McMahon loves his cars, but the car apparently was valued at $189,000. I don't know whereabouts it was been recovered, but we've also been informed here today that there was a $100,000 sound system inside the car for Vince McMahon. What the I'm not even going to... Vince has had $100,000 stereo system in his car. God, you hear all these younger guys and hip hop guys and all these little boy racers and stuff who love their cars and their big sound system. But Vince McMahon, what is going on? But apparently he has got his sound system back. So there you go. I'm sure he's a happy man. But $189,000 for a car, it's a lot of money. But there you go. Guys, as promised, I've got a little guest here in the studio with me. She's sitting beside me here now. I did say this podcast is being taped in my home. And this young lady has been hounding me for months to come on the show. And I didn't want to bring her on the show because I thought she was a wee bit young. But she's a big wrestling fan. And she's been torturing me for months. She's been torturing Tony as well. And she's been to the studio a couple of times. And she's been hounding Catherine. And she's also been, being an absolute pain to get on the show just to say a few words because she loves her wrestling. She's been watching wrestling since she was about 3 years of age, and she's now only 9-year-old. I'm now sitting here beside in my home with a microphone strapped up to her, ready to rock and roll. I've got a young lady here by the name of Brooke. How are you, Brooke?
Fine. How are you?
We finally brought you on. Now, I know you're a bit young, but we wanted to bring you on because you're a huge wrestling fan. You've been watching it since you were 3, and ever since the WWE Network came out. I know. I'll tell you what, guys. She's actually my daughter, and ever since you were young, I always sat you down in front of all the wrestling from the old days, didn't I? All the old stuff. And now that the network's here, every time I see you watching it in your bedroom or wherever it is, you're always watching the old stuff from WCCW and all the old stuff as well. This wee girl's only 9-year-old and she's actually sitting watching all the old classic stuff. Now, I had an email there last week from a guy looking suggestions for old stuff. Well, this young lady here could probably give you some stuff, but Brooke, quickly, I want to get you on here for a couple of moments because Catherine obviously would chew my face off for keeping you on for too long, but I want to ask you, who at the moment is I'll ask you a couple of questions actually. Who's your favourite diva at the minute in WWE?
Natalia.
Okay, and you tell me why Natalia is your favourite diva.
Well, because she's really good at wrestling. There's no doubt about that. And because she's from the Hart family, and I really love the Hart family.
That's right, you do. You love all the Harts, don't you?
Yeah.
You watch Owen Hart matches. You watch obviously the British Bulldog. You watch Brett. Her daddy, Jim Neidhart, with the beard. You love him with the beard, don't you? You love her. But Natalia's your favourite diva. You don't like all them flaunty divas, do you? No. You like the girls who can kick ass, don't you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Girls who can kick ass are the best ever.
That's what I like to hear. And your favourite diva of all time. Now, I know you watch the network all the time. You actually watch the network every day. You probably watch it more than what I do. Who is your current, all-time favourite diva stroke wrestler, or whatever you want to call them?
Sunny.
Sunny?
Yeah.
Really? And why would that be Sunny?
Because she's really, really good at kicking ass. Really, really good.
I think you remember telling me before, because she was like the first proper diva who...
Well, yeah, because the first proper diva? Whoa. Didn't know that until I found out whenever I was watching the wrestling, and then I found out.
On the network?
Yeah.
But you liked her from the start because you told me, Daddy, she's good and she can talk and she's good and, she didn't really get in the ring as much, but she was good, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was really good. Now, away from women, I know everybody always asks you, who's your favourite diva? Your favourite guy on the WWE roster at the moment, who would that be?
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose. Okay. Now, whenever we were back at the studio, you came in to visit a couple of times, and you and Catherine have been sitting in the wee production room, and I hear the two of you bickering away sometimes. She likes Roman Reigns, you like Dean Ambrose. Why is Dean Ambrose your favourite?
Well, because he's good at wrestling. I
think it's because he's unpredictable too, is it? Yeah,
because sometimes, I know he's like, the way he could be funny, but he's actually not. He's like, doesn't act like he's funny, but he is funny.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
The lunatic, as they call him.
The lunatic fringe.
The lunatic fringe. Michael Cole needs to be slapped for saying it. And your all-time favourite wrestler of all time, whether it be WWE or whatever, who's your all-time favourite wrestler, male wrestler of all time? Who?
Really want to know?
I do.
This will be. I've already talked about these people. Yep. Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, you're a big fan of the Hart family, aren't you? I think it's because you love Bret because of his wrestling, and he was just overall. I mean, even when he comes back on TV now, you always go, Danny, Bret's coming to Raw tonight, or
Yeah, pretty much.
Bret's your favourite then. This young lady here, guys, is worse than me. Now, let's get away from wrestlers. Managers.
Yeah.
Who's your current favourite manager in WWE at the moment, or anywhere else? Who's your favourite manager?
Lana.
Lana, can I ask you a question about Lana?
Yeah.
Are you disappointed? I forgot to mention this about Raw last night, the contract signing. Did we disappointed that Lana wasn't on Raw last night?
Yeah, very disappointing.
Did you hear the fans chanting for her last night? We want Lana.
Lana. Yeah.
She's way making a movie at the minute, but there you go. But you like Lana at the moment. I know, obviously, you always say to me, Daddy, here's Lana, and her outfits are lovely. I think a lot of people say that. Before I let you go, who's your favourite all-time manager ever, whether it be WWF, WWE, WCW? I know you watch all the old wrestling, and you're worse than your daddy here, to be honest with you. But who is the best manager ever in your eyes?
Bobby Heenan.
Bobby Heenan? Why Bobby Heenan? I could know a million reasons why, because he's so funny.
Yeah, and especially the night that he first turned up, and they wouldn't let him into Raw, and then he dressed up as someone's auntie, and he dressed up as all them funny people, and they still wouldn't let him in.
The night he turned up at Raw, and
Yeah.
he wouldn't let him in, and it was like he was dressing up as a rabbi, and he dressed up as a lady, and it's not even that there about the time in the weasel suit. No, remember
Yeah, that was so funny.
the Ultimate Warrior in the weasel suit, and he even wore the weasel suit back in the other independent days and all too, territories and stuff. But Bobby Heenan was great. Now I know they're starting to put primetime wrestling on the network with Bobby Heenan. I know you've been watching all that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been very good recently.
All the old stuff, some ones you haven't actually seen, but Bobby Heenan was awesome, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bobby Heenan was the best manager ever.
He really was indeed. But Brick, I'm going to let you go because I don't want to keep you on too long because I know Catherine will chew my face. But you wanted to come on tonight, and I rang Catherine earlier and she said it was okay to bring you on, so there you go.
You don't want your face to go, do you?
No, definitely not. But there you go. Guys, that's me, Brooke. They're a big time wrestling fan. She loves her wrestling and she loves her network and she loves everything else to do with wrestling. She's been wrestling man since she was only 3. It's unbelievable. But a big thank you for popping your wee head in tonight there. When we get back in the studio, guys, we're going to be bringing more guests in. We've got some fans who's been torturing us about talking about different subjects. We're going to be bringing them onto the show via our Skype wall. So there you go. Wee bit more news for you guys, but it's a bit sad news coming yesterday. WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus, her father passed away yesterday. So we'd like to send all our condolences to Trish Stratus and all her family as she has lost her father yesterday evening. A bit of sad news coming out of the Stratus household. Before we hit the road, guys, just want to give give a shout out, we haven't done it just yet tonight, to our friends and partners of the show. First of all, I'll give a shout out to our friends and partners, Wrestling's Past. Guys, if you haven't checked out Wrestling's Past, you know where to go by now. You're bound to know where you're going to go by now. Wrestling's Past, if you're historians of wrestling, well, when I say historians of wrestling, this young lady who was sitting beside me here is getting more into her history of wrestling than probably what I do sometimes. She comes up and asks me questions every single day about wrestling because all this stuff she catches up on the network. But Wrestling's Past, guys, for all new historians of wrestling or anybody else historians of wrestling, Wrestling's Past is the location. Go to their website, wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk, and also on Twitter at Wrestling's Past for all their daily tweets. For example, on this day, news and stories, some cracking photographs from back in the day. So if you're new to wrestling and you want to catch up on all the old archive stuff, Wrestling's Past is the way to go. Get involved with them, guys. They are awesome. Want to give a shout out to our friends as well, Pro Wrestling Ulster. They've got a big show coming up. I think it's this weekend, for what I remember. So I wrote that down in my notes. Go to their website, prowrestlingulster.co.uk. Also, wrestling.ie for more wrestling here in Ireland. Go to wrestling.ie for all their big events coming across the whole of Ireland. Want to give a shout out to our friends down south in Ireland, Fight Factory Pro Wrestling, Main Stage Wrestling, Over the Top Wrestling, and Celtic Championship Wrestling as well. Also, a shout out to our friends at British Wrestling Radio, our friends Dino and Nixie and all the rest of the guys. Don't forget to check them out on Twitter at BWR Radio and BWRradio.com. Guys, I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'm going to hit the road. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning to the podcast. We hopefully should be back on the air Friday. We'll keep you posted on our social media feeds, which you can find us on Twitter at Outside the Rope for all latest wrestling scoops and news, and also on our Facebook, Outside the Ropes Wrestling Talk Show. Our website's still down. It's not working at the minute. I don't know what is going on with our website, outsidetheropesradio.com. We can manage to post the shows whenever we go live or on the air, but we can't seem to manage other news up there, but we'll hopefully get that fixed in the coming days. That's outsidetheropesradio.com. I'm going to hit the road, guys. Apologies for not mentioning about that contract signing last night. I don't know why I did, because it was a great contract signing with Lana. Well, no Lana, sorry, in the arena. I'm disappointed. But the contract signing was great. Short and sweet episode, guys. Thank you very much for hitting the download button on iTunes and listening to us on Speaker and also on YouTube. So keep an eye on our social media feeds for our usual scheduled show. Hopefully we'll be back this coming Friday. So from my home, that's right, my home, not the Outside the Ropes studio, my home. This is Matthew Murray, your host of Outside the Ropes as always. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and we'll hopefully, that's right, hopefully, see you back here on Friday.